your leakage, did brain capacity kind of dwindle as well?
Well, apparently it's cheap, yeah. Oh no. It's dripping.
Oh, refill.
It's dripping. Oh, that's so weird, man.
Okay, I'm done.
Oh, okay.
Waxy, with a hint of pistachio.
Maybe Movies. This is Maybe Movies, where we take some great films, pluck out certain key characters, drop them into the plot of the opposing film, and see if we can create new films from the detritus of old.
My lips have gone numb.
That'll be the pistachio.
Oh.
If you've been following us so far this month, then you'll know that we are playing around with The Black Hole and Event Horizon. We are at the halfway point of the month, and we are up to our final act of our new vision of Event Horizon, lovingly known as the Event Hole.
Can't help it. I can't help it.
We're all big kids here.
All of the wrong.
I love
all
you
at once.
We're all so wrong.
Very quickly, huge thank you to all of our viewers and supporters as we inch ever closer to the sacred 200 when we get to drink from the sacred 200 bottle. Before we jump into Act 3, a very quick shout out for today, which is for... It seems to be a lot of old friends at the moment. I might have to do a new friend on the next one.
Okay.
This one is for Richie from Richie the Foodie.
Oh, gosh, yeah, that's been a while.
Yes. Who is a cooking channel on the platform and does a lot of very simple and sort of easy to make stuff at home and just trying to find loads of stuff for you to fun. He kind of started during lockdown. So it was, easy stuff that you can cook while you're, in your own personal delirium.
Send me a link.
I will. He's really good. He is really good. But yes, do check out his channel. He posts content reasonably regularly and is a good chap.
Coleslaw.
So thank you again, as always, Richie, for your support and keep up the great work.
Thank you.
I just got an aftertaste of coleslaw.
That's not my fault.
Are you sure?
What have you been eating?
Well...
Actually, I don't want to know.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
So, as I seem to remember as we left it, the remaining members of the crew, with the exception of probably Weir and DJ...
Sorry. Just so much more comfortable.
Fair enough. Are holed up in the garden, which we'd said was one of the good zones on the ship. Complete with living plants that attack the robots. I was wondering...
Hang on a minute. Didn't we also... Isn't Mr. Justin sucked into the ship?
I think
yes, he's
we'd
become
gone
part of the wall.
Yeah,
ship.
this is beyond where he's beyond saving, isn't he? At this point,
he's beyond saving.
And we had Weir was still in discussion, being won over by the Maximilian Reinhardt robot combo thing.
Because she was being drilled.
Peter's got killed, got lobotomized in the thing.
That's right, yes, that's what I was remembering.
We still had Coop, who we said was going to do the same thing, where Smitty undocked the Lewis and Clark and ended up blowing it up to stop them getting hold of it.
Yeah.
Which left Coop being flown out into space, and he's had to do his flyback as he does in the original film.
I'm interested to see what part of the ship he actually uses, or that he's stuck to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm just trying to think it's going to be...
A lot of that ship is glass. It's it's probably like transfer steel or something like that.
Maybe he come back and his boots are actually stuck on the glass, so he's spinning round, spinning on his axis, but he manages to somehow use his jetpack to propel himself, so he comes in so it looks like he's skateboarding.
If we're gonna do that,
like skateboarding on the glass
Yeah,
frames of the ship.
we should set it up then at some point where if he does that, where he actually penetrates, comes into the ship itself.
Yeah.
There should be a bit where there's like a standoff. There's a couple of robots. He comes in behind
Yeah,
him,
he comes flying
smashes
in.
the glass, and then the suction draws the robot straight out into
Yeah.
space.
And that has to be the bit when he goes,
I was wondering with these guys in
I think I deserve a star for
yeah,
that.
yeah, you do. That was a really good call out.
the guys who are holed up in the garden.
Yeah.
When this becomes one of the good zones, I didn't know, and again, because I've only just thought of it, it may require. It depends on how much of the garden we've seen prior to Act 3.
Yeah.
So it may require going, sorry, we're going to stick this in retroactively. If any of the original crew who had been lobotomized were in the garden when they went through the black hole, that they got returned to normal. If we go for it, means that we could drop in Dr. Kate McRae's dad.
You were reading my fucking mind.
Really?
That's the only reason I would think why you would want to do that. Like, you remember in the beginning of the Black Hole, Dr. McRae, the actual doctor, she's like, my dad worked on this ship, and she wants to find out what happened to him.
Frank. It's Frank McRae.
Frank McRae.
Uncle Frank? Oh no, Daddy Frank.
So
No,
maybe
not Uncle
when
Frank.
he went
Not
through,
Uncle Frank.
he
It's Frank. It's Uncle Frank.
dosed with the heavenly rays or whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's a good one.
That's a pretty good call out. I do, yes.
Yes,
yes,
good
yes.
one.
I do just want to say a thing, and I don't think it's like deserving of a star or anything, but one of the things I was doing when I was rewatching earlier on, and I noticed that the Cygnus is also shaped like a glass-lined cathedral, just like the Event Horizon.
Yeah, it is.
It's just so much bigger. In the Event Horizon, they were able to run down the main aisle, where in the Cygnus, you need a shuttle to go down the main aisle.
Yeah.
But it's still the same cross shape.
What if they, right, out of context, what if they actually made Event Horizon with the black hole in mind?
I wouldn't be surprised. There's a lot of similarities between them.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Does anybody out there know? If you know anything about the history of the black hole or Event Horizon that might connect us together, please let us know. We really do want to
I'd be
understand.
interested in that as well, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to have a huge amount of people. It just gives us a few more bodies.
Yeah. But,
Failing out of it.
so
Exactly.
you just want some more good guys to make it a little more even-handed.
Yes.
It just makes the battle less one-sided if there's more good guys than
of course.
there were before.
But I'm also thinking by the end of the movie, we need to have the same amount of people surviving on both as in the original.
I think it'll come down to that anyway, because there's
Yeah.
only so many people they can get into that probe.
There's
Am
only
I
three.
wrong in thinking that it's both three in both films?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It must be connected somehow.
Guys, is there something out there we don't know?
4 if you count Vincent.
Oh yeah, because Vincent,
He's one of the crew, so...
yeah, he is one of the crew.
Oh, yeah.
You've got 3 humans and the bot.
But do robots count?
Yeah.
Inquiring
Yeah.
minds want to
They
know.
do count because
I
they
think
are-
so.
Yeah, they're
I think
part
so.
of the crew.
But I'm just asking them.
I think in this case they do, and again, we'll come on to that when we look at the black hole, because don't forget, Vincent has got psychic powers.
Yes. Yes, that was one of the things I was going to bring up when we
But
got to it.
that's for next time. So we know that the Cygnus has got its main engines back online.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should do what the Event Horizon doesn't do, because it's not trying to get back to the Hell Dimension, because it doesn't have a gravity drive, it can't do it. It's trying to get back to Earth, so I think we have to leave Neptune's orbit and have it heading back into the solar system, because it's a futuristic ship. It's going to be able to cover that distance a lot quicker than...
Which would everybody would immediately know, because there would be the the juddering and the rumble of the engines and all of that shit. They'd know all about that as soon as they started up. Mm-hmm. And then they'd be like, where are we going?
But I think in terms of like an overarching idea of what I had, is because they're going to have to try and stop him.
So at the beginning of the act, they're in that big garden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what happens from there?
It's when they
Is that when the engines start?
What we said last time was as soon as they get the engines back online, that's when everything starts to turn against them, and everything that happens leads up to them being caught in the garden. That's after Justin gets killed. I think the only person who isn't there is DJ, because he was trying to do everything that he could.
To save Justin.
Yeah, and so he's on his own. So we know Peter's got killed, again, going back to the doctor's bit. So we've got Bob, Miller, Stark in the garden with Officer McRae. Peter's got lobotomized. DJ is still out on his own in the ship. Weir is still on the command deck with Reinhardt.
I've got an idea how to dispatch a DJ,
Right.
because obviously he's tending to Justin.
Yeah.
He's realised he can't save him, but Justin is looking at him.
And making those weird whimpering noises and stuff like that.
And DJ then steps back, unbeknownst to him, a pocket of darkness pops up behind him. He steps into it.
Well, like the shimmering darkness from the core?
Yeah, and then the vines grab hold of him, are trying to stop him from stepping into it.
Okay.
The bad side are sending out barbed wire.
He gets quartered.
Yeah, he gets quartered.
But by the vines and the barbed wire fighting over each other.
Yeah.
You're a fucking roll, man.
So two things to add to that. First thing is, so that if the vines are coming out, that means because the good guys have got to the garden can then it's sending the vines out from where they've created a gap in the garden because it's trying to combat the evil that's in the ship.
Yes.
That's how they can get to where he is, because he's in a different part of the ship.
Right. Yeah.
The second thing I'll say with that is that Justin, like in his final words, because he knows that he's done for, he's kind of looking at DJ going, and again, he won't say it in Latin, but just as a callback, he'll try and say to DJ, the only thing that he can say is, save yourself.
Yes.
But this happens in front of Justin, so he dies knowing that he failed to save DJ.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so
nice.
I'm thinking, I think I need another one of these.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's on a roll. He is just on a freakish roll.
Because I've
got like 1 star. This dude is owning this shit. The one thing I do not want to lose from this third act is the bit when Maximilian does the thing with the whirring blade.
I've got an idea for that.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7! 7! The man has 7.
I've got 4.
I've got 1.
I've got an idea
I am
for this.
so behind on this expedition. Must be the red coat.
So you've got
Oh, red shirt, sorry.
Well, you are the red shirt.
I am the red shirt. Oh my god!
Oh, you're fucked. You are.
Oh shit, does this mean I'm going to stop when everything ends?
You've still got another 3 episodes. You'll be fine. We'll have to give him a name. Because if he doesn't have a name, if he's got a name, he's got a higher chance of surviving.
T-Hub. Chub.
Chubb.
Oh no, not Chubb again!
Let's leave Chubb. Let's leave the Chubb alone. Yes, you were saying about the thing with Maximilian.
With the whirling blades with Maximilian.
Yes. But I was going to say, you've got Weir and Reinhardt having this conversation throughout this whole thing. We seem to have kind of just put him in the penalty box there, but that's they're talking about ideas, and he's telling him about the gravity drive and all of his ideas. They said all this kind of thing, winning him over to to the point that we're saying, I would love to be a part of this. At which point Ryan says, well, you can be a part of it. And Maximilian does that to him to absorb Weir into Reinhardt, so Reinhardt then has all of Weir's intelligence as well.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, right, so it's like Reinhardt and Weir inside of the Maximilian robot?
Yes.
There's just stars going everywhere but my direction. Guys, what the fuck?
You need to come up with some good shit, dude.
Apparently I have lost my mojo. I don't know where it went.
It's up there.
Baby, give me my mojo!
I think I drank it.
It's a bit nutty.
Oh, that's what's sneaking.
Ah.
Weir gets whooshed and whooshed into Maximilian.
Mm.
Yeah, brilliant.
Well, what does he take? He can't take his heart because Weir is all of the good.
But he's not, though, is he?
No,
he's a
but
scientist.
in the context of this, he's all for good.
Sorry, it's really freaking me out, because every so often your glasses catch the reflection of the ring light, but because it refracts more than once, it looks like the 3 magnetic fields around the core.
He is the core. He is the core.
By my left nipple.
On topic.
Yes, on topic. Does he doesn't take his heart because obviously he's drilled him through with the heart, so he takes his brain to absorb his brain.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So then we have the scene where Maximilian is basically cracking open Weir's skull to remove his brain.
There's like whirring into his body at the same time as the hands are peeling apart his skull.
Where we get the Sam Neill scream from the original being assimilated into Maximilian. Once they realise that they are out of Neptune orbit, they have to stop the ship from getting back to Earth. The next planet that's kind of on a similar orbital plane as Neptune is Saturn, because Uranus spins either faster or slower, and they never kind of coincide.
Right.
Because McRae will know about the pod, about the probe, that they can use that to escape. They want to try and crash the Cygnus into Saturn. And then
I can see what you're saying.
use the probe to get back to Earth.
Yeah, that works.
That makes sense. So it's just Stark, Miller, and
Coop, who's on the outside of the ship at this point, because we haven't brought him back in yet.
No,
I think he
Stark-
should come back in as
A
you
little
said,
bit later.
as he does at the dramatically appropriate moment.
Yes.
how are Miller and Stark going to blow the ship?
Right.
No, they've got to steer the ship, haven't they? They haven't got to blow the ship. They've got to steer it into Saturn.
We send Stark with Bob because he will know how to get the probe up and run. He'll know how to get the probe powered up.
Oh, okay.
And Stark is the next thing after Smitty to a pilot. While McRae and Miller go to sabotage the Cygnus.
Okay.
Yeah. So that means we get a series of like running battles because they've got some of the weapons from the robots.
Yeah.
So they've got the futuristic guns. So we're going to have a bit of a gun battle and stuff as they're trying to get there.
I'm assuming this is going to lead to some sort of quasi-heroic sacrifice on the part of McRae.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, I like that.
Are we going to say that Miller suffers the same fate as he does in Event Horizon and goes down with the Cygnus? Or do we want to get him off the ship this time? I mean, if we get him off, then that would do what you did, because if we allow that Bob survives as well...
Yeah, bear in mind that we lost Justin, who in the original film got saved, even though badly hurt.
Yeah, if we save Miller, because that means we've got Miller, Stark, Coop, and Bob. Again, is that nice kind of analogous
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do that. Which
is good, because I always thought Bob got a bum deal.
Oh, yeah. He did. He really did.
As a kid, I wept buckets.
I know. I was always sad, because he tried so hard to be a decent robot.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, that was like, no, he tried really hard. It's not his fault. Oh God, I know that's awful.
At least he went out swinging,
Yeah.
But we could do that then. McRae and Miller get confronted by Maximilian.
Yeah.
And that's the bit where Coop comes in and smashes through the ship. Maximilian gets dragged back out. Yes, he can get back on board, but it's enough to give them the time that they need to lock the coordinates
and set the ship on its course.
Yeah. But then obviously, it's like they set it on the course, but then McRae says, if one of us leaves this, they can come back and reset it. Somebody needs to be here.
Well, yes, because he's surrounded by all those galleries of the other robot crew who are not good.
Yeah,
and he's got no choice.
Somebody has to steer the wheel.
This is even perfect. I didn't even think about it when I was thinking about it. We do sending it into Saturn, so we even get a nice parallel to the meteor storm because they go through the rings of Saturn.
Yeah, do you know what?
Yeah.
That scene with the meteor storm in Black Hole, I think it's probably my favourite scene in the entire film.
It's so Technicolor. It's really good. It's really awesome.
And it's just that bit where it kind of hits the ship and is rolling along the inside of the ship. You see
that bit like the rolling ball. Oh my God, that just made me just
yes,
do this as a kid.
Yeah. As we say, they get onto the pod, shoot it off. So we're going to be the last minute thing. Miller and Cooper kind of leap through the door and they blast off as it hits the rings. The rocks and stuff from the rings of Saturn hit smashing through the glass of the ship.
But they're no longer in the grip of the black hole, so all they've got to do is steer straight. Or, steer right. Steer the correct way.
That ship is from like 70, 80 years in the future. It's going to get back to Earth a lot quicker. Which is a bit of a weird one, because it means obviously they get back to Earth with a highly futuristic ship and a highly futuristic robot as well.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Also,
shit, yes.
Right, as they're departing, as they're getting away, the ship is crashing into
Saturn.
Into Saturn. You've got Maximilian, and then the other guy,
Reinhardt and Weir.
We'll call him Rear.
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 Rearheart.
Rearheart.
Yeah. So
Max Rearheart.
Yeah. Can you see my heart?
Can you see my hiney? Can you see my hiney?
We seem to be getting monthly themes. It was Chubb a couple of months ago. Last month we had our kind of Popcorn-geddon. This month it's all about the rear.
All about the butt.
Although at least in this version of the thing that we did narrowly avoid Uranus.
We did.
God, yeah. But yeah, so we need to have.
I'm trying. Sorry.
You're putting me off my stroke.
Let's move on quickly.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, right? Because you've got the trippy shit towards the end of the film. So the guys who are flying away in the rocket, they're fine. I think we need to have all that trippy shit going on with Rhea and Maximilian.
Because there's something like 120, 130 different atmospheres on Saturn.
Yeah.
So as they're diving into the planet, it's
like being slowly compressed.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Into the little Jawas from Phantasm.
Nice. Yeah, I think that is. So that is worth a start.
Oh,
Calling
yeah,
out Phantasm,
I
how is
got
that not worth a
two.
start?
Hey.
How is that not worth a start?
Still totally not winning this one.
But you've got to think of it, the good and the evil on the ship as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's fighting against each other.
As it's being compressed together, sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's basically reacting with the atmosphere and all the visual stimuli on the ship with everybody who's living on the ship, and that's going to create one hell of a fucking brain sandwich.
That sounds good. I suppose again the other thing with McRae we can say is that because he was affected by the good part of it, he's still going to die, but he's got more resistance. So again, maybe he can take a couple of shots from them and he's fine. But yeah, and so you could even have him say like the final line to him. It's like, this is my revenge on you for what you've done to the crew.
Yeah.
I've just got a final thought, and it's literally just intruded on my head. So, the Cygnus, massive ship, capable of doing incredible gravitational manipulation, crashing into Saturn. What if Saturn collapses?
Oh.
Like the ship crashes into Saturn, and Saturn gets sucked into the gravitational fields, and either becomes another black hole, or becomes a sun.
I think that's a bit too far, but I think
look, good versus evil, light versus darkness is what I was thinking.
I like that idea. I was thinking more along the lines of like having the ship crash into it and just like having a black hole in the middle of Saturn.
It's almost like the great red spot on Jupiter, but it's like a great black spot swirling around.
Yeah.
So
basically, it does destroy the planet itself. It's just
like a micro black hole on the surface of Saturn.
There you go, you got two.
Oh, yay! Oh, yay! Look, I got 3, folks.
You'll see that happening in the background while we're focused on the ship heading towards
as the probe flies away.
Yeah.
And this new astrological phenomenon is formed because of this great conflict.
Yeah.
Just feels like a really epic ending.
So you got everything like Dante's Inferno shit going on.
Yeah.
In their heads and in the ship going on as it's crashing into Saturn.
Yeah, I like it.
So we did it. We got to the end without breaking it.
I think we're done, folks.
Expect more on Friday when we will be looking at Act 1 of Black Horizon.
Black Horizon. That's a great title.
It is, isn't it? So, until then, have a great Thursday, and we will see you on Friday for more.
As always, guys, TTFN.
Bye.
Ba 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 ba.